Hey guys, Brent Boyer from Adam again. So let's talk divorce. So first of all, please like and subscribe the video if you like the content so that we know that we're providing the appropriate content here. So I wanted to talk about the beginning stages of a divorce. This question comes up a lot of, if I'm thinking about starting a divorce, what does this look like? What can I expect at the very beginning of the process? For one thing, the beginning stage, of course, would be to file for a divorce. So you're filing a complaint for divorce at the local courthouse, the county where you live. And our advice is always to be the first to file. There can be a lot of advantages to filing first. So when you file first, court orders get signed without a hearing. What are called ex parte orders get signed by a judge, and those court orders have no discussion with the other person, no notice to the other person, and the judge doesn't hear the other side of this request. It's just a court order that gets signed. So you can imagine that doesn't work out that well for the other person most of the time. Those orders can include, if you have children, they can include custody, parenting time, child support orders. Even without children, there can still be mutual restraining orders on property, which would be basically a court order that could freeze your bank accounts or hold up other financial issues. You could also have status quo orders, meaning a court order that sets up what bills you're required to pay. There can be all sorts of things that go on with these ex parte orders, so you don't want that going on behind your back. So you'd want to avoid all that. If you know a divorce is happening, always want to be the first to file. But to break that down even more into what that really means here, what you're looking at is you can file for divorce, and then your next step would be to have your wife served or have her sign for it or acknowledge. There's different ways to get her served, of course, but first step, filing, that's really the most significant step legally, because that establishes your rights, gets the divorce case going, gets the waiting period started, and sets you up as the plaintiff in the lawsuit. Now we know your wife's not going to file because only one of you can file. And now we know anything going on in the court, you're going to know about it first. You'll have a right to respond if there's any requests or any other things going on from there. So filing first brings with it all those rights. So that first step would be to file first. That's the most significant event legally. The next step after that is to get your wife served with papers. Now, under the court rule, you have 90 days after you file to have her served. So those two don't go hand in hand. You don't have to file and serve. It's not like that happens immediately. You have time, and you'd want to talk to your attorney about the reasons for waiting. Maybe I don't want to file, or I do want to file right away, but I don't want to have my wife served right away. I'm waiting for somebody's birthday or a holiday, or we're out of town, whatever it might be. So there can be a lot of reasons to file, but then be kind of waiting on getting your wife served. So really step two in the process is the service, when your wife has notice of the divorce and when she is aware of what you filed and when all that starts. So I just wanted to clear that up. The question comes up quite a bit here with the beginning stages and what that all looks like, filing, getting your wife served. And then after that, of course, it goes forward that way. Once your wife is served, she's got 21 or 28 days to respond, depending on how she was served, so call it 28 days. And then it goes forward. So you're into the first couple months of a divorce and the starting period. There's usually not a lot happening at that point because of waiting periods, because of I served her and now she's got 21, 28 days to respond, meaning I can't really go ahead with much and proceed with things until that 21, 28 day period is gone. So it can be kind of a slow start, which is a little frustrating sometimes because once you've made the decision that it's going to happen, I think it's typical for men to want to get going and start working on it. So you want to be aware that it's kind of a slow start typically with how all this goes. So I hope that helps. Any questions, of course, give me a call or send me an email. Thanks.